Imagine standing in your backyard and throwing a tennis ball over your house. Now imagine you're trying to hit a tennis ball thrown by someone standing in the front yard. Get the picture? It's not easy. That illustration is frequently used to describe the difficulty of orbital rendezvous. And 47 years ago, it was an Oklahoma astronaut who proved it could be done. Here's Oklahoma Stories with Charles Newcomb.
In 1962, NASA announced its selection of Astronaut Group 2, the new 9. Along with the original Mercury 7, they would be the faces, brains, and hands of Projects Gemini and Apollo. Among them was a 32-year-old Air Force test pilot from Weatherford, Oklahoma, named Thomas P. Stafford. In his 13-year NASA career, Tom Stafford logged a number of firsts and set a number of records. In his very first spaceflight, he piloted Gemini 6 during the world's first rendezvous in space. During that flight, his spacecraft came within a foot of Gemini 7, laying the foundation for the later dockings upon which the Apollo program's trips to the moon would depend. It also laid the foundation for the Apollo-Soyuz test project, which Stafford would command in the summer of 1975. That was the first rendezvous and docking of American and Soviet spacecraft. Stafford went into the record books twice more as a result of that flight. His Air Force promotion beforehand made him the first general officer to fly in space, and in the spring of 2011, he became the first Air Force general to receive a Russian decoration. The asterisk in Tom Stafford's record book is that he passed on an opportunity to beat Neil Armstrong to the moon. Stafford commanded Apollo 10 in the spring of 1969. It was a dry run for the Apollo 11 moon landing. Stafford and Eugene Cernan undocked Lunar Module Snoopy from Command Module Charlie Brown and descended to about 47,000 feet above the lunar surface. They could have landed, and NASA administrators knew it, and they worried about it, and they tried to figure out how they could keep hotshot test pilots from doing it 254,000 miles away from management. Their solution was to not fill Snoopy's fuel tanks, and to make sure Stafford and Cernan knew if they decided to make the first moon landing, they'd never come home. But Tom Stafford's crew did set one record not even Neil Armstrong's could touch. Because the moon was farther from Earth during Apollo 10's flight than any other moonshot, on the way home they achieved the highest speed ever attained by man, 24,791 miles an hour. And that record is unlikely to be broken until humans come home from Mars.